Veda Day 10, April 10th, 2014. It's Thursday. You know what that means? Thirsty Thursday. Oh, I place a lot of importance on this beverage, and I never hardly drink it anymore. Maybe 2 or 3 times a year. This alcoholic beverage that I'm going to showcase today got me through a lot of hard times. Probably not, this is probably going to be a little controversial for some of you, because I'm going to tell you that numbing my pain helped for a little while of my life. When I grew up, when I was a teenager, late teens, in like later years of high school, I was in the Catskills. I was in Sullivan County, and my father had had a little midlife crisis when he was like 42, and he moved us all from Long Island to the middle of nowhere. Literally, the nearest house was a mile away, and there was a barn, and he had horses, and it was like really not my speed whatsoever. The second I graduated high school, I was out of there. Pretty much the second I was out of there. As soon as I had enough money, I was out. But anyway, in my teens, it was beer. Okay, because we were in such a rural area, and I hung out with a really rough crowd. Really rough in the way of Sullivan County. A little bit hickish, but like metalheads, it was keg parties. It was keggers, okay? And we used to have tire fires, and you would go to this place, and there were a couple of different places. You would go to a field, and you would get this big tire, and you would put it in the middle of wherever you were going to be hanging out, and there was usually cars like parked along the perimeter of this, prayer circle, what we were doing. And we would put this big tire, sometimes they were tractor tires, sometimes they were just regular car tires that were stolen from junkyards and stuff, and you light them on fire, and then the pieces of rubber and petroleum stuff would fly up in the air and then land in your solo beer cup, and then you'd come home, and the next morning you'd have like black shit all over your face, and it was awful. There was a lot of alcohol consumed, there was a lot of drugs done and stuff like that. But anyway, in my mid-20s, when I started to get more health conscious, I switched to something else other than beer, because beer has a tendency, especially for women, it bloats us out. It makes the belly huge. Now, I still love beer. I probably drink 10 beers a year because I could sit down and drink a 12-pack. And I can't do that. I know that I can't do that. I know that it's no good for anybody. I think I have a little bit of a gluten thing anyway, so beer really bloats me out, and I pee like a motherfucker, okay? I can't spend a night drinking, because I'll just spend the night in the bathroom peeing. So that doesn't work for me. In my mid-20s, back to 3 minutes, and I still haven't even gotten to the Thirsty Thursday drink. I know. I'm such a cowboy, right? This is my friend Jack. Jack and I know each other really well. Jack saved my life a few times. Honestly, saved my life a few times. I knew how important Jack was to me when I had broken up with my first husband, and about 2 weeks after he moved out, I heard the cat playing with something. And you know when your cat plays with something and you can tell that that's something that the cat is playing with plays back? Yeah, there was a roach in my apartment. That fucker was about this big. It was like a mouse. It was like the size of this. It was disgusting. It was huge. And I'm screaming my head off, screaming at the top of my lungs. I call my mother. This is like 2 o'clock in the morning. I call my mother. She says, "Do you have any Jack Daniels in the house?" And I'm thinking, is she going to tell me to pour Jack Daniels on the bug? She's like, "You need to take a shot of Jack Daniels. You need to calm down. I can't get to you right now." And I was all alone for the first time. Like, I was all alone. So Jack Daniels saved my life that night, and probably a few other times. Let's get back to the alcohol of it. This is silly. Jack Daniels works very well for me. It is something that I can drink without adding any extra calories. One of my favorite mixers with it, favorite of all time, is Diet Pepsi. I am not a Coke fan. I'll drink it because obviously you go to a restaurant and you say, give me Coke, give me Diet Coke, whatever. I don't drink regular soda. That's not diet. But Diet Pepsi is my absolute go-to. I am not supposed to drink diet soda. No one is really supposed to drink diet soda, so I usually don't have it in the house. I literally only bought this today, and I didn't buy the 2-liter because I just wanted to show you guys. By the way, this is still sealed, Debbie. Don't worry, I'm not drinking it right now, today, at 12:29. I literally went to the store and I bought this because I wanted to show it to you, and I will drink this because this is calorie-free. And I bought this. I'm going to save this for probably on Easter. I'll crack this open. But my favorite mixer with Jack Daniels is either Diet Pepsi or Diet Ginger Ale, because then I do a Jack and Ginger, which is delightful. If you've never tried it, you have to try it. It's delicious. Jack Daniels gives a very similar drunk to the drink that I described last week. That kind of a sweet, for me, Jack Daniels is sweet. I like bourbon. I like brown liquors. Okay. I'm not a big schnapps girl. I don't like, you know, peach schnapps, although that has a whole thing with my teenage years. Doesn't it all? Peachtree. Yay. I love Jack Daniels because I can have like 3 fingers of Jack Daniels and I am just sleeping like a baby. For me, Jack Daniels is, for most people, what most people wine would be. I can literally drink that much of it. I could probably, and I'm just being honest, I could probably drink half of this bottle. I'll be whacked, but I'm not falling down. I can drink like a fucking sailor. I also curse like one, if you haven't noticed. I can probably not, I'm not half, maybe to there. And I'll wake up the next morning, I'll be fine. And that's a problem because you don't want it to be so easy to be an alcoholic. But my whole family knows that I have a love of Jack Daniels, and for a couple of years there, like that's what I would get every Christmas. Like people would just buy me bottles of Jack Daniels. And one of my brothers, his wife, has the same passion for Jack Daniels that I do, so we always buy each other bottles of Jack Daniels. And whenever we go out, whenever I come over to her house or she comes over to mine, we always make a point to have a bottle of Jack in the house. But she does regular Coke, so, and I do Diet Pepsi. So I absolutely love Jack Daniels. I really, really do. Does anybody else have a favorite drink that they never ever drink because it's so awful and so bad for them? And you know what? This is awful and bad for me, and I still have such good feelings about it. It's kind of like that boyfriend in high school that treated you like a total piece of crap, and you still say to yourself, oh, if I could just have 10 minutes alone with him, I could just, it's just, I'll always love him. I will always love Jack. Okay. Happy Veda, day 10, April 10th, 2014.